I'm on the South Lawn of the University of Melbourne, and beneath my feet is what I have come to see today. But it's not the grass, it's actually what's holding up the grass, as well as the trees and everything else around here. It's a vital piece of a master plan from the 70s, which has allowed cars to be right in the heart of the university, but you would never know. Now, usually I probably wouldn't go getting too excited about a car park. I mean, there's not too much to see when it comes to, variety. It's a series of rectangles where people can put their cars. But this one, in particular, has got some pretty impressive design to it, which has allowed it, actually, to be placed on the Register of Historic Places. So, must be a little bit special. So while we head down into the car park, just a little bit of the backstory to it. Now, obviously, the University of Melbourne is quite old and has been around since before cars were. But during the 1960s, the rise of car culture was definitely impacting Melbourne, and with it, the students and faculty of the University of Melbourne. Now, where are you going to put those cars in a place that has no space for them, without it just looking absolutely ugly and terrible? Well, you hide them away underground. And if you can see from this hill that I'm coming down, we might have a bit of an indication of where they chose to put it. So this very ornate entranceway behind me actually leads into the car park, but it has a history of its own. So it is originally from the Colonial Bank of Australasia, but that was demolished in 1932. Not wanting this beautiful entranceway to go to waste, it was donated to the University of Melbourne, who held on to it for a number of years before ultimately choosing to use it as the entranceway to the South Lawn Carpark. The space down here is very quiet, apart from like a machinery hum that is just very constant in the background. But it's very cozy. Outside, it's a little bit chilly. In here, nice and warm. And it feels almost like a bit of a subterranean cave. So much like above, I wouldn't have known that there's a car park below. Down here, you wouldn't expect to pop out into the middle of the University of Melbourne. It's a pretty iconic look, this concrete, and the shape was actually chosen for a specific reason. So if you noticed above, there were trees of the South Lawn were actually spaced a fair way out on a regular basis, which actually lines up with these concrete columns. This was done intentionally with the design meant to provide space for the earth above, so that those trees could have adequate area that they would be able to actually grow in and thrive. It does feel a little bit dystopian down here, I think mostly because it's fairly dark. Like, there's plenty of lights actually around the space, but they don't do a great job at super illuminating everything. But just this much concrete with nothing else to see is always going to give me a sort of oppressive feel, even if it is a fairly beautiful space in its own way. Now, I'm definitely not the only one to think this, because some of you out there might recognize that this was one of the filming locations of Mad Max. In addition, it's been used for a number of music videos and other smaller productions, as well as, strangely enough, a fashion show at one point. So I don't really have too much else about the South Lawn Car Park. It's a pretty cool little space. Definitely a very unique and impressive way of hiding a car park in a very old historic region of Melbourne. It was cool to be in. It has a unique sort of vibe. I like the energy. It was nice and quiet apart from the mechanical hum, but that kind of faded away after a while. I stopped noticing it, but definitely somewhere to check out if you're ever at the University of Melbourne. Worth a walk inside at least. Now that I'm back here on top of the car park, might take a little bit of time, just relax on the grass, enjoy the vibes. It's nice and quiet. Thanks for joining me on this little journey. I know that it's a bit of an odd one. Probably not too many people that would be interested in going to check out a car park, but thanks for coming with me to check out this one. If you want to see some more things like this, then make sure you subscribe. I've got plenty more places that I'm planning to go through in the future. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy the outdoors here. Maybe have a lay down on the grass. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next week.